PlayStation or Xbox? Which one is better? Well, that's what we're here to find out today. To make things fair, I've got each console's most recent model. So that's the Series S for Xbox and the PS5 for PlayStation. But which one of these is better value for money? Well, let's start out with the price. And right off the bat, it's clear that the Xbox wins when it comes to the cost of the console itself. The Xbox Series S came out just over a year ago now and has remained at £249 since. Whereas the PS5 launched nearly 3 years ago and its price has increased by £30 now. I know that the PS5 digital edition does exist, but it's hard to come by and usually only available as part of a bundle. And those normally work out more expensive than just buying the standard PS5. Plus, the disk drive isn't just useful for games. It can also be used for things like watching Blu-ray movies or even listening to music CDs. However, if you are planning on getting a few games, then the PlayStation could end up being a better value option because of something called Game Pass. Now, I know that the Xbox does have a game subscription service, but it's really not in the same league as what PlayStation offers. For £10 a month, you get unlimited access to hundreds of incredible games, and these includes both digital downloads and physical discs. In fact, the only time I've ever had to purchase an Xbox game was for Call of Duty, which isn't even exclusive to them, and I only bought it because I prefer a physical copy. Otherwise, I would have just downloaded it through the service. Over the last year, I've saved so much money by using Game Pass, and I estimate that I've got about 600 hours out of the games I've played. The reason why there aren't many Xbox games in my library is because of something called backwards compatibility. As long as a game is in this list, you can play it on the latest generation of consoles. So even though I bought my PS5 nearly 3 years ago, I can still play all the same games as someone who purchased a PS5 today. On top of that, PlayStation has had an incredible exclusive lineup over the years. Games such as God of War, Spider-Man, and Horizon Forbidden West are just a handful of the amazing titles that you won't find on Xbox. And it's not just the single-player experiences either. PlayStation has arguably the two best multiplayer franchises in the world with Call of Duty and FIFA. Both of these games sell millions of copies every single year and are without doubt the most popular games on the platform. So even though the Xbox may be cheaper upfront, the PlayStation could end up being a better value option in the long run, especially if you plan on playing online, as well as the cost of the console and the games. You need to consider the cost of the internet connection, the TV or monitor, and the controller. Although the Xbox controller does cost £50 compared to the $70 of the DualSense, it doesn't feel like the same quality. It's made from plastic rather than rubber, and the sticks have a much lower level of precision. Then, when it comes to the controllers, the DualSense is simply in a league of its own. Not only does it have haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, but I just find it to be more comfortable. In terms of the TV and internet connection, it really does matter which console you go for as long as you have a relatively modern setup. However, if you do plan on connecting your console to a Wi-Fi network, then you might want to look into getting a Wi-Fi 6 router as this will give you the fastest speeds. Overall, I think it's pretty clear that the PlayStation is the better choice between these two consoles. It has a higher quality controller, a larger library of games, and you'll end up saving money in the long run. Plus, it's just a better gaming experience overall. Now that might change when the next generation of consoles come out, but until then, the PS5 is the better option. What do you think of these consoles? Let me know down in the comments below.